Here are 5 important things Samuel Eto'o said during his interview at the bridge that are going to interest you. I know you may have seen some snippets online. For example, him talking about not receiving any salary from the FECAFOOT, and sometimes he removes money from his pockets to take care of things. Now, let me tell you more about what he said during his interview. Church members, if you're here, then know that you're going to smile throughout this video. If you are not a Samuel Eto'o fan, then please be ready to become one. Because the things and ideas that are in this man's head, you are definitely going to want to love him. Point number 1. The Pichichi said during his active football days, he was never afraid when he had to play tough matches. The tougher the game, the more ready he was for it. He was always so confident and focused, and his reason for being this way is due to the way he grew up, hardships, etc. When others were so afraid about an important tough game, he was always so chill. Firstly, because he was confident, and secondly, because he knew that under any circumstance, he was going to perform excellently well or at least score a goal. He also said in every footballer's career, there are matches where he performs extremely poor, even at scoring penalties. He mentioned that during one of the games he was playing when he was at the club level, he missed 2 penalties which were supposed to take his team to a better position in the game. When stating this, he said, yeah, footballers also need to be really strong because it's not in every game that you perform your best. Point number 2. Samuel Eto'o said his main goal is to see change at the FECAFOOT. He said even 600 to 700 players too can boast of good salaries and a better treatment, then he is fine. That means his work is being well done. He also mentioned he doesn't need anyone to support him. Just a few people who believe in the dream can be able to change Cameroon and Africa with him. For those who are church members here, your pastor does not sleep. This is the second time he is mentioning this in an interview. Samuel Eto'o works round the clock. He mentioned during this interview at the bridge that he could be up at 4 a.m. and call his secretary to send him a document which his secretary failed to send. And if his secretary tells him that, boss, I am asleep, he's going to tell his secretary that I am not asleep, so you have to send me the document right now because I am working. Some people are going to think that he's being too strict. Well, that is a businessman right there who knows what he wants to do with his job site and how he wants to operate it. Newsflash, there are people who wake up at 4 a.m. to prepare for their work day, and there are others who stay up till 4 a.m. working. So it just depends on how you handle this. Point number 3. Talking about people misjudging him since he became president of the FECAFOOT, Samuel Eto'o said there will always be some kind of injustice at the workplace, but you don't have to look at it that way or try to behave the same way the people are behaving to you. Because in his case, he is a president of an institution with lots of things happening. He always reminds himself he is in charge and that negative things will always be thrown. It is true some people didn't do things right at the FECAFOOT before he came, but that doesn't mean he has to go as far as they did. He rather looks at things from the bright side and tries as much as he can to do his job perfectly. If my voice or my tone sounds like that of a Samuel Eto'o fan, then maybe I am. Point number 4. When asked if he has ever thought about giving up his position as president of the FECAFOOT, he said yes, several times. He sees every negative thing they say about him on social media, but he prefers to ignore because that does not help the federation in any way. He is rather there because he wants to work hard and put his country on the map. People's words, opinions, or ideas about him will never make him to leave the FECAFOOT presidency anytime soon. Church members, are you still with me? He mentioned that he came and met the FECAFOOT when just a group of friends were managing it and they were making money out of it and putting it in their pockets. So you can imagine the amount of work he has had to do to put footballers and the federation at the point where it is right now, with people still not appreciating him. I may have stuttered a little in my last point, but I'm talking about Samuel Eto'o. There are just too many things he said that if I want to start explaining in detail, we may spend the whole day here. And I know you don't want to watch that video because it's too long. So, moving on to point number 5. This is actually very important. He said, it is always very important for anybody to always have the mental strength to say he is or she is capable of doing anything. This is going to help you when you are working and how you interact with people. We all know that, right? I'm sure Eto'o just came to remind us about this. How can you not love this man, eh? How can you not love Samuel Eto'o? Ask yourself this question. Moving on to point number 5.1. I know I said 5 points, so rather than going to 6, I better remain at 5. 5.1. Samuel Eto'o said, Africans, and most especially Cameroonians, are always scared of their dreams and what they can become, leading them to remain in the already tailored system that hinders them from sitting at the high tables like himself. He has heard a lot of people say his ideology is because he is rich and he has money, but he was never always rich. He actually worked his way to the top, and he believes that every African child can as well work his or her way to the top. Point number 5.2. He stated that football is business and he handles the FECAFOOT as such. He stated that he wants African football and Cameroon players in particular to be treated better wherever they go. This means that the players have to be so comfortable in Cameroon to the point where when a club from outside Cameroon or Africa comes to buy a player, he should be paid what he is worth and he should be bought, or the negotiation should be done based on what the player is worth. He is tired of seeing players being bought in Africa for small money and then later being sold to other clubs in Europe for higher amounts. One very important thing to note from this part of the interview is that football is a business and Samuel Eto'o treats it as such. For example, if during a football game he gives an order that no one enters the field if they have not paid or bought a ticket, a lot of people are going to see that he is too strict or probably wicked. What these people who call him names forget to note is that the running of the federation requires money, and if you accept that people who have not paid for tickets should enter the field, it therefore means that in the long run, the federation is going to lack money to even go as far as paying players or taking care of their basic needs. I'm still going to ask this. How do you not like Samuel Eto'o? I've lost count. We should be at 5.3 or 5.4. Right? The next thing he said was that he will continue to ignore everything that people say about him because he knows that they pay influencers to talk trash about him, but he really doesn't care. He will continue to do his work, and at the end of his mandate, if they ask him a report of whatever he did, he is going to present it. So far as he follows the law, he will continue to do his job diligently. I decided not to talk about him not receiving any salary from the FECAFOOT because I'm sure you already know that. But if you don't, then know that Samuel Eto'o mentioned he does not receive any salary from the FECAFOOT because really he doesn't have anything to do with it. The money is probably too small, or he feels like the money should be transferred to football in any way possible. He has well revealed that at some point he takes money from his own pockets to finance some certain things in the federation. Yes, Samuel Eto'o does not receive salary, and sometimes he takes his own money to run things in the federation. Let me end here, but note that this is just 1/100 of everything Samuel Eto'o said during his conversation with other players on the bridge. Please watch the video on YouTube, or if you want me to just bring all of the points here because French can be so hard and reading subtitles is even harder, then I'm going to prepare another video. Until next time, please like, share and comment on this video. Church members, thank you for staying with me till the end. If you're a newly converted Samuel Eto'o fan, then I leave it to the church members to welcome you. A link to this full interview or conversation will be in our comment section. Cheers.